Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the first installment of Stories by Captain Everything. This is just stories that happened throughout my life. Some of them, you're not going to hear some stories that I've done because they're really bad. Nothing with murder and rape or something like that, but just stupid stuff that kids do and you regret when you grow up and get older. Anyways, this one is about being accused of something that I didn't do. I had nothing to do with, and there are people that done that. I've had it happen over the years at work. People would accuse me, oh, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. It's just jealousy, envy, and, hate. It's just what people will do to try to get you fired or get you in trouble. It's just stupid. Some people just, I guess they never grow up. Anyways, this happened to me about, the year had been like the late 80s, early 90s. And I was living at home and I had to walk to work. I worked at a Japanese restaurant. It was in Niles. They actually moved from where they moved now. It's called Yamato's. Great people to work for. I worked for them for like 4 years. Hiro and Rumiko. And I hung around with their son Danny, and me and Hiro went out and had a couple beers and stuff. Great people. Fantastic people to work for. I love them people. Just great people to work for. Anyways, I used to walk to work because I didn't have a car, and it was like about 2.5 miles to work, and then I used to walk by the bus stop that I picked up the bus. Well, and the hotel, the restaurant was connected to a hotel, and I remember one day I was just sitting in the hotel lobby, and I was watching TV or something, and I heard somebody come behind me, and then they asked the ladies something, and I guess she knew my name. I didn't know she knew my name, and she pointed to me, and the guy come over and introduced himself as Detective Consiglio. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And he goes, can I ask you a few questions outside? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So we step outside, and he goes, the first question was like, hey, do you know a guy named Mike? I was like, yeah, Mike Turner, a guy I grew up with, I hung around with his brother. And we see each other once in a while. And he goes, no, it's a different guy, Mike. I'm not going to use his name, his real name. His first name was Mike, but not going to use his last name. He goes, he said you were harassing him at his bus stop. And I was like, no, whoa, what? I'm harassing some kid at some bus stop. I had no clue who this was. I was like, he says he pointed you out to a T. Even described the radio you were carrying. And I remember I walked by the bus stop, and these kids were there. I caught the bus at that very same bus stop. And I remember walking up the road, and there was a car where the bus would come around, and the bus would pick that person up there, and then they'd stop up to that one. So, and he said I was harassing this kid at this bus stop. And I was like, I don't know who this kid is or what he is or anything like that. And I says, I know where a radio is that I had. And we went back to the restaurant, and it was in a storage room. And I showed him. He goes, no, this is a different radio. Well, actually, I think I had a different radio. But if something happened, I threw it away. That might have been the radio he was talking about. So anyways, he goes, do you mind if you come down to the station and take some pictures? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I called my brother, who worked at the sheriff's department at the time, and I told him what's going on. He goes, hey, if you ain't got nothing to worry about, just cooperate with the police. Don't worry about anything. You'll be all right. So I go down to the station, and I told the guy asked me again, the detective asked me again, are you sure you didn't know this kid and you give him a pill? And all of a sudden, there's a pill involved. And I was like, no, the only thing I've ever done was drink. I never got high, never did any pills or anything. So he says, are you sure? I was like, exactly. I swear to God, I haven't done anything. I don't know who this kid is. So I take the picture. I had my glasses on. I was smiling for the picture. I took the glasses off, smiled for the picture. He goes, if I show him these pictures and he points you out, you're going to be arrested. So I says, I have no clue who this kid is. So a couple of days later, I'm talking to my buddy, my friend. We hung around together all the time, Demetrius. And Great guy. You know, we hung around for years. I got stories to talk about us drinking. Those are other stories. Okay, anyways, with this story now, and I was talking to him, and his sister was there, and her boyfriend, the two of the greatest people. Diane and Bob are the two of the greatest people. He is the coolest guy, and she is the sweetest lady. I remember I got into an argument or a fight at home and stuff, and I went over to my buddy's house, and I was pretty damn upset and everything, and she says, "You look like you need a hug," and she gave me a hug, and you know what? That stuck with me. That made me feel so good. She was so cool. It was so nice of her to do that, and I never forgot her. I never forgot her when she done that. It was so nice. It helped. So anyways, get back to the story. I'm always sidetracking. So I go to my buddy's house, and I'm talking to him about it, and they were there, and I mentioned the kid's name. And Bob knew that family. He knew that family, what was all they were all about. And they were all like incestual, and is that a word? Incest and everything. They were like all bad news down there. And I was like, really? And I told him everything. Something about harassment, a pill, and everything. And yeah, they're all, it's a screwed up family. That's just a messed up family. So anyways, I go down, or I don't hear anything back from the guy, the detective. Never heard anything else. So I started thinking, I go, what was this problem with this thing? So I'm thinking he had a pill, saying harassing him. I'll bet you he got busted with that pill in school or something, and he needed to point the finger at somebody, and I was walking by, and bam, nailed it. And that's had to have what happened. Well, nothing ever got said. Fast forward 23, 24 years later, the detective moved up through the ranks, and he actually was the chief of police, and ended up being the chief of police in Wethersfield Township. And I emailed him, and I told him my name, and I was asking him, I says, I can come down face to face, we could talk about this thing, you can tell me whatever happened with this kid accusing me of this, and you know, and I told him the times about it was and everything. I'm sure he remembers. And the only thing I got back was an email. The case is closed. Nothing else to be said. Well, isn't that a kick in the twig and berries? What the hell's up with that? You know, so I was like, never been vindicated or anything. I mean, I know I didn't do anything, but nothing. The kid, I'd like to know what his response was when he finally gave in, that I wasn't anybody, you know. So the detective ended up dying about 2 or 3 years later. He died, and I'll never ever find out about whatever happened to that kid. So anyways, this is a fantastic beer. It's a little hazy. It's a White Raja, India Pale Ale, 6.8% ABV, which Budweiser is 5.0, and 70 IBUs. IBUs are International Bitterness Units, and this is 70. This is very high. Budweiser is about 10. It's the hops, and this beer is fantastic. I think I gave it like a 98 out of 100. Very good beer. But anyways, I figured this is going to be some stories that I'm going to tell, and we're going to see how they go along. If you want to hear more stories, let me know in the comment section below. I'll tell you some stupid stuff I used to do. I'm not going to tell you about anything illegal, because I don't know if statute of limitations ever ran out on some things. Anyways, so there you go. I'm not saying I did anything, but I'm just afraid it. I don't know. I don't think it would ever happen. But we used to screw around a lot. Anyway, get chased by the police and whatnot, and you know, caught drinking with beer in a car and all this other stuff. Well, anyways, there you go. That's about it. That's all I got for that video, and we'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.